Welcome back to the channel. If you're attempting to start an online business and you feel like everything is falling on your shoulders and you're not getting everything done, I want to assure you that that is completely normal. As someone who has started and maintained two different businesses since 2020, I can confidently say that it is not abnormal for you to feel out of place, for you to feel often like giving up, and for you to even feel like you don't have the resources to continue this. I understand that feeling deeply, and in this episode, I want to talk to you about a couple of the systems that I implemented when I started that are now working for me tenfold. I work with clients every day, I am full-time in my business, and I want to teach you the most important systems to implement when you are just starting out, when you are just starting your business. I first want to take you back really quick to when I started my first business ever called Brilliant Pit Seasonal Wellness. I started that in the midst of 2020. I lost my experiential marketing job where I was traveling the country producing pop-up live events for big brands. And I lost that job completely, obviously due to the event nature of that. And I was left to my own devices, but most importantly, I feel as though I found my purpose in that entire time frame. I found exactly why I went into marketing in the first place, and I realized that it wasn't so much the live events and the client management and the stress and the crazy upheaval feeling of work and daily life, like it took over my life. And I realized that what I really wanted to do was something of my own vision and something that I felt was needed in society, right? And if you've ever felt that way, you, my friend, are a solopreneur at heart. You are a heart-led, passionate individual who sees things in different ways. You probably see the gaps in certain industries. You see where there could be improvement, and you feel passionate enough to say, yes, I could actually bring something to the table here. Now, without going too far into a tangent, I want to just also remind you that you, as a unique individual with unique experiences, you have something to offer to people. I don't care if you think that you are no different than somebody else that you watch on YouTube. You have a unique skill set, you have a unique life experience, and therefore you are your own flavor, okay? Let's quickly jump back to the story because there is something there I want to weave into this episode. As I was creating content for Brilliant Pit, I knew that Brilliant Pit was going to be an herbal-based, product-based company. That is what I wanted to do, but I was still learning and studying herbalism. I did an apprenticeship, and I also was studying with the Herbal Academy. The problem with that is that I wasn't exactly ready to just start creating all these products. I really wanted to do this carefully and thoughtfully, but the idea was in my head. And if you ever heard people say, you know, when you have an idea, you have to jump on it because that's like this divinely inspired inspiration. And it really did truly feel like that. So I wanted to start it. But what I found that I was doing because I was studying and I wasn't really prioritizing the creation part, rather I was prioritizing the content creation part because it was what I already knew how to do. I was endlessly creating content and I was in a loophole of providing value and education and providing just like the little fun facts about the ingredients I wanted to use and what I was using, because I was creating a little bit of products, but I was not creating products in the capacity that I wanted to. And so I found that a lot of my time was taken up by creating content. And what do you think it was doing for me? It was doing nothing at all. It was not bringing me anything of substance to the business itself. It was barely a business to begin with. And that is why that business had to go on hold. I had to figure out why creating the content and actually trying to lead people through to my product, but without really saying it, I needed to figure out that messaging and I really needed to figure out what I was actually going to offer in the first place. But this story is really to help you understand that you need to audit your time first and foremost when you are starting an online business or a business in general. Taking an audit of how you spend your time is going to tell you greatly about what you prioritize, period. Whether it's the things that you personally do or in your business, what you do. And you might find that you prioritize things in your business that you're good at or that you enjoy. And it's not necessarily always going to be the thing that is going to bring you the most amount of momentum aka monetary value, to keep the business actually going. So ask yourself and audit yourself, what do you actually spend your time on? And what is the direct result of that time spent? This is going to be hard for you to hear, but if you are spending your time on something that does not have a direct line of moving the needle in your business. Now, what do I mean by when I say that? If you are doing a task and it has no effect on the outcome of anything in your business, whether it's views on YouTube, whether it is traffic to your website, whether it is traffic to your products, whether it is anything of the sort, like growing your community, that is moving the needle, right? If what you're doing is not doing anything even close to that, you need to get rid of it. You need to let go of that task. And I know that can be really hard because sometimes we are feeling really creative and we want to just get an idea off the ground. We want to work on things that are really exciting for us, but there is a time and place for that. And what I would recommend is that if you are in that place of being like, I don't know what I spend my time on, I don't know how to make this better, I really invite you to join my free community called Essence Essentials. There is a time management workshop in there for premium members, but I also offer free resources for free members. You can also join monthly calls as a free member, and you have access to my photography, all of my content templates. I think it would be really helpful for you. But the thing that is going to be the most helpful for you if you are in a lack of time management is this thing that I have called the monthly task planner. And it's actually a bird's eye view of every task that you do in your business. And I outline it in a monthly overview look so that you can actually plan out how you do things. And so if you have creative projects you want to do, and you want to maintain that momentum, you can do them on days that are just light. You don't have a lot of other stuff going on, or you can dedicate that time to the evenings. To give you a little bit of an inside scoop on kind of that time management premium feature that I talked about in my school community is basically a practice of outlining your actual to-dos in your calendar. Like, what are the tasks that you actually do every single day? Where are your time blocks? Do you have a time block from 9 to 5 because you're working? Do you have a time block from 6 to 7 because that's when you work out? Things like that. It's basically running you through that whole process of putting that into place in a Google Calendar and then overlaying an ideal schedule. So this comes in when it's more of a meditative practice. It comes after you understanding what you actually want to be doing in your day and how you want to be filling your time, and then overlaying that onto your current calendar to then match them as best as possible. So that is a little bit of a inside scoop of what that looks like. Okay, so once you know what you're actually spending your time on, it is then time to come up with a simple task plan, the thing that I just mentioned to you that is actually free for you to download in my free school community. With this kind of outline, you are going to list out your priority tasks. You're basically going to understand what is the main thing that brings me monetary value, that keeps the business going, right? Like, momentum, unfortunately, has a lot to do with what you're gaining out of something. So a lot of our creative projects don't always have the most momentum behind them because there isn't a structure yet associated with it. I think I've talked about this before, even in Solopreneur Pep Talks, but it's like why businesses really need to balance creativity and logic. And it's because you can't fully function as a 100% creative person as a business. You need the structure and the logic of putting that into a product, messaging it correctly, attracting the right people to it, right? There is logical step-by-steps that will take something creative and turn it into something profitable. But you first have to understand these little foundational frameworks. So outlining the tasks that actually give your business momentum from top to bottom as priority to lowest priority. So for me, I'll give you an example. Mine would definitely be client work as my top priority because it is the number one thing that brings monetary value into my business. And it also keeps the momentum going for me to do and work on other things. So number one would be client work. Number two would actually be my membership because as of now, I have paid members on there. And so maintaining that, also making it better and more valuable is only going to attract more people. So number two for me would be my membership. I would say number 3 and 4 equally would be my YouTube channel, what I'm recording right now, and my email list, right? And what I actually do is I align my YouTube videos with my weekly email that goes out to my email list. So once we have an idea of our priorities, it is now time to implement this task plan. Now, the reason I love the one that I've created so much is not only because the first time I shared it with you guys, a lot of you downloaded it and got a lot of great results from it, but number two is because it is completely evergreen and it aligns with the month no matter what. So you might be thinking, well, a month can have 31 days, even 28 days sometimes. And then the weeks are always messed up depending on the number of the day, right? My template makes it so that you can actually see week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, even week 5, if there is a week 5 in a month, and the day of the week plus the date of the month, right? So like the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. It's always going to be aligned with the day of the week. And therefore, you can always work on either a weekly schedule or a monthly schedule to then complete all your tasks. What you're going to do is you're going to align these tasks at the top of this column to the side column of what day of the month and what week of the month and what day of the week of the month you want to be working on that task. And then once this is all filled in, you can literally highlight the day of the month, the day of the week, and see what you have going on. And it's going to simplify everything for you, especially if you are open to completing your tasks in a much more spread out manner. And the reason that I want this for you, the reason that I don't think it's smart to just batch all of your creative and logical energy into doing this one task at one time and then launching it and then you don't do anything for a month. I don't agree with that. And the reason being is because I want you to avoid burnout. Okay. Burnout is something I fell into very quickly with Brilliant Pit. And I vowed to never fall back into burnout in my new business, Essence Presents, which is what you're watching on this YouTube channel right now. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I can't complete things on a monthly basis. You might be surprised about how you can make things work for you on a monthly basis. Most processes can be spread out over time. And it's not to kind of go against that whole idea of, I forget what it's called, Parkinson's law, maybe, where it's like you give yourself this amount of time and it's going to take you that amount of time to do it. If you had 2 hours to complete it, you would complete it in 2 hours. Yes, I agree with that, but I do that on a granular level. So let's use an example of your weekly email to your email list, right? So if you have weekly emails going out on Mondays that align with your YouTube video, for instance, what I'm not saying to do is spread out over the whole month the tasks that will take you a month's worth of emails to send out. I hope that makes sense. What I'm basically saying is that if your emails go out every single Monday, maybe on Friday is when you write those emails. And you only give yourself 30 minutes on that Friday. And it's like this task plan is going to help you see the overarching kind of tasks versus day and when you want to be doing those things, whether it's weekly or monthly. But you can go deeper and say, well, Friday is the day that I do my email, but I'm not going to let myself do this for 2 hours. And that's where real time management comes in, is when you are getting way more granular. On the day that you want to be doing the task, you get granular once more with how long you want to be spending time on that, because you might have other stuff going on that day. When you highlight that row and you see, okay, it's the 7th of December or it's Thursday, right? It's Thursday of week 2. I have this, and this to do based on my tasks that are in columns. And I only have 2 hours to do everything, right? We are busy people. And I'm sure if you're starting a business, you have other things going on, whether it's a full-time job, part-time job, whatever it is. Trust me, I am right there along with you. I just went full-time in my business, but prior to that, I had full-time jobs while running my 2 businesses, okay? So I understand how important it is to manage your time efficiently, and this is my goal. I want to help you not only optimize your overarching life, right? Like in that monthly view, but also help you get granular and help you spend less time on the things that don't matter as much and way more time on the things that do matter for your business. What I want to do now is round this all up so that you can walk away from this episode with some tangible takeaways, okay? So number 1 is figure out what you actually spend your time on and identify the tasks that you spend time on that are actually getting you results, right? So number one is figure out what you spend your time doing, all the tasks, and it doesn't matter priority or whatever. Just write all those tasks down and then identify the tasks that actually give you results in your business, that actually provide for you ROI, so to speak, right? Return on investment. Number three is to prioritize the tasks that give you the most results in your business in your task plan. So we're going to prioritize those tasks at the top column of this little downloadable worksheet that you can get for free in my school community, and literally write it in a way that makes sense to your brain in terms of priority, whether it's like the priority tasks go from left to right or they go from right to left, whatever makes the most sense for you. Number four is to figure out the consistency that you would like to complete this task in full. So say it is a weekly email newsletter, you're going to want to do a weekly task on Fridays that finalize this email, and maybe you only spend 30 minutes on it. Or you do it over Thursday and Friday, and you do one section of the email on Thursday and another section on Friday, and you spend even less time doing that. In this kind of step, you're also going to want to pay attention to how you can constantly improve on the very thing that you're working on, right? So like you could even give yourself a day to simply improve this workflow or simply improve this effectiveness with your business or et cetera, et cetera. You can also spend time optimizing this process and you just put it in as a little optimization day, right? It depends on where it all falls and if you have the time for it, but that could also be useful. So that is what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and give me a comment. What is the biggest thing you're struggling to systematize in your business right now? And I would love to help you live if that is something you're interested in. In my free community, I offer free monthly group consultation calls that could be so valuable for people, especially you starting out as a solopreneur, an online business owner, you want to get something off the ground. I've done this, so I can absolutely help you on your first steps to achieving your goals. I also offer monthly content drops of my photography and videography, as well as desktop calendar wallpapers and even Canva graphic templates. I just know that this would be so valuable for you simply because I needed something like this when I started. Something that helps you streamline creation altogether, whether you have just social media at this point or a YouTube channel and you want to optimize the process and give yourself more time freedom in your business. That is what I do. So thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.